Let me introduce Ned Harper. Ned is with SBDC, and Ned is also the presenter this evening.
The reason for the green forms is we're funded by the SBA, Small Business Administration, and they like to report. They like to know when they invest money that something actually happened. So they like to know that we actually did do a seminar and real people were here and that they're representative of our community. We're not just serving one group and leaving others out. That's the reason for the paperwork and the forms. Now, why do you think the federal government would like to see you be successful in business?
Taxes.
What?
Taxes.
Taxes. And that's one thing that you have to be really good at in business. You need to know what's in it for them. Whoever you're dealing with, whoever your partners are, your associates, your customers, vendors, you have to understand what's in it for them. Why are they doing what they're doing related to you? The better you understand that, the better relationships you're going to have and the more successful you're going to be. Now, Daytona State College is also a sponsor of this program. Why do you think the college would like to see you be successful in business? How are they graduates? What's the point of going to school and getting a degree if you can't get a job? So if we don't have a viable community here where there's thriving jobs and they're hiring people and the people have to have certain skills, then there's no reason for a college because they're not going to go there to learn how to work in your places. So that's why the college is. But the bottom line that I want you to be thinking about is the purpose of this tonight is to serve you. It's not about me and it's not about Bill. He travels all over the world. He's retired, semi-retired. I'm just enjoying life. I started 7 businesses from scratch, grew them to be pretty big, really enjoyed doing it. Got to a point in my age where I didn't want to risk everything I owned every day. And that's what happens when you own a business. You don't know what might happen, regulations, the environment, things could change, and you could be put out of business. So sometimes you get to a certain age where you don't want to take those risks. But there's ways to kind of control that. And that's what I do here. I get to get involved in businesses, but I'm not investing any of my money. So, a little housekeeping. If you've got phones, hey, if you're in business, you're thinking about doing business, feel free to get up, take care of a client, do whatever you need to do. If your phone rings, just don't let it disturb the others. We have restrooms right outside. Feel free to get up and go as you please. I'm not going to do any breaks. It's going to be hard for me to cover this in 2 hours. We're going to cover a lot of information. We're going to go fast. I'm open for questions, but we have to make sure that I cover everything that I feel you need to know. Okay, what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about who you need to know. If you're not connected with certain people, you will not be as successful as you can be. We're going to talk about reality theory. Is business right for you? Is this a real good idea? Now, talk about your idea. Business structures. You want to be a S corporation, LLC, sole proprietorship? That's always a big question. Finance. Many people in business do not understand basic financial concepts. And you're going to hear something tonight that most businesses don't get. And I know they don't get it because they come to me and they say, I'm having trouble. I can't decide when to hire another person or not. And if they understood this, they'd know when to hire another person. They wouldn't have a question. Business planning, financing, and then we'll go into question and answer. So I'm going to try and move fast, but I want to relate to you. It doesn't do me any good to say things that you don't understand. It's wasting both of our time. So if there's any issue or whatever, then let's talk about it. You need to be connected with 5 important people, and I'm going to mention the 6th one too. By the way, you do get these slides if you got your address. So you get all of these and you don't have to write all these words down. I make it easier for you. Unless you're one of those ones that learns and you write auditory visual pretty much tomorrow. A lot of small businesses don't want to deal with professionals because it's expensive, right? It's going to cost too much money. I'm not going to use that. And all the time I've been in business, I have made more money using these people than it cost me. Because they know how to do things that I don't know. And if I make that mistake because I didn't get good advice or I didn't have the right knowledge, then it will cost me money. Not knowing something can cost you money. So you should have a relationship with an attorney, an accountant, a banker, an insurance agent, a counselor, a mentor, people like Bill and myself that have been in business, that have made mistakes. We've learned the hard way. Why should you have to pay the same price? We say, don't do that. Here's what happens. And you can avoid it, and you don't have to. You can make your own mistakes, then come teach us and we'll teach others. The next I'd like to add here is a technologist. Technology has become so important in business today that if you're not using technology, you're probably doing things inefficient. And it's probably costing you more to do it. And then you want to charge more. And then your customers don't like it. And they want to buy from someone else. And you don't understand how that guy can do it cheaper than it's costing you. And it's very confusing for everybody. So your inefficiency is no excuse to charge people more money. You need to be as good as you can and get technology and get other things to work for you. I'll give you an example of that. I had a client that had a exercise spa. And in the exercise spa, typically what they do is people come in and they register for a class. So they have a receptionist there, or they call in, it's taking me and getting them signed up because only so many people could be in the class. So that person put it online. So if you wanted to go to that class, you had to go to that site, put in your information, pay right there, and eliminated the need for someone at the receptionist desk. So there was a cost, $20,000, $30,000 a year, that wasn't necessary in that business to provide what people wanted. They really just wanted to go to the exercise class, not talk to a receptionist. An attorney, insurance agent, an accountant. How do you know which one to get? Well, number one, get someone that specializes in business. You don't want a divorce attorney advising you on how to do things in your company. You want a commercial business attorney, someone that works with businesses day in and day out. And if you can, get one that has worked with someone in your industry. So if you're going in the restaurant industry, you might go in the restaurant and say, hey, what attorney do you use? Go to another one. Who do you use? Who do you use? You start hearing the same name come out. Well, this guy does a lot of work with restaurants. He's going to know a lot of things legally that restaurants need to know. When you ask them to do stuff, it's going to cost you less money for him to right off the top of his head say, oh, you just do this, 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 this. Then it will be for someone else that has to research it. Next, see if it's someone that you can relate to. Some of them might not want to work with you that much. They may like to work with companies that are $20 million and more. So they're not really that interested. You can tell by the way they treat you. If they're not acting interested, giving you information, working with you well, then they use words you don't understand and things like that, you don't want to deal with them. You need to deal with someone that you can relate to, that you can talk to. So I'm doing it fast and not talking about each one, but you can get that. Last thing I'll do is I'll say shop. You shop for your cars, don't you? You shop for your clothes, you shop for your groceries, shop for your professionals. Don't just go to the bank because it's the bank you've been dealing with personally and assume that they're going to give you the best banking services that you can get for a business. Go to them and say, what are you going to do about a credit line? Do you have a credit card? How much do you charge for a bank account? You know, how can I do banking online? Do you do payroll services? What do you do for me? Shop. I usually do 3. By the time I've shopped 3 businesses, I've got a good idea of what's going on. First person tell me one thing and I don't know anything else but what they told me. I go to the next one, they tell me some different things. I ask them about that. I go back and forth, ask them what they think of these others, and their strength is this, our strength is this. By the time I get to 3rd, I got a good idea what's going on. I got a good idea what insurance I can afford. I maybe need this much insurance, but I maybe only able to afford this much insurance right now. But the good insurance agencies will tell me the higher risk and where I need to put my money right now. I should have all of this, but I definitely better have this right here. So that's the people that need to have a